the first game of the round of 64. Not the first game actually, it's the third game I streamed, but it's the game between Grandad and Lordimperialist. Both are French. Both start with a market in the first age, pretty standard. Of course, get hunting decks for free and you age up at pretty much the same time as without it. And you benefit from it all the way while you're aging up. The map's pretty fair. We see that Grandad had to bring in his hunts from a little bit further than Lordimperialist, was a little bit closer. On the other hand, Grandad does have a third bison, while Lordimperialist has the pronghorns over here. Not sure if he scouted this, by the way. The 95 wood is still there as well. Anyway, he'll probably come to that later on in the game, or maybe perhaps even that one. So what we have here is that Grandad is starting with 1 Rex only. That's a little bit uncommon. We often see 1 stable only or a stable and a Rex. On the other hand, we have Lordimperialist here starting with 2 Rexes. Seeing that he shipped 700 wood and is gathering gold, he's probably going for some kind of musketeer rush over here. Maybe also because his food is not the best. Trying to go a little bit more aggressive. That means that Grandad is probably going to ship 4 villagers. Not sure what he did. They're probably going to come anytime soon. There we have the musketeers incoming.
Je suis blessé, je ne peux pas bouger.
Maybe he is going for some kind of... there we have 4 villages here by Grandad. And then probably we have either 700 coin or 700 wood, depending on what he wants to do afterwards. 700 coin, of course, for a fast age up, since he has only 1 Rex. 700 wood, more standard to go for a long colonial fight, if he thinks he needs to do so. Because, of course, there is a 2 Rex strategy from Lordimperialist here. By now he has his own 10 musketeers here, and of course 1000 to fire. That means that Lordimperialist just trying to pressure a little bit, but now has to go back. Can't risk losing the musketeers. There's another batch incoming, so it was not just a fake rush. 700 wood from Grandad. I expect him to probably add a Rex as well. He also scouted 2 Rex by now, and then it's likely that he will add a second one for him, and probably a trading post. Meanwhile, this hunt, of course, is being camped on by Lordimperialist, so it means that Grandad for now has to work on the other 2. Unfortunate here that it kind of went the other way. Of course, 2 Rex versus 1 Rex, that means that it's kind of easily outmatched early on. What Grandad is now trying to do is just use his musketeers as effective as possible. That means you don't really want to commit to a fight, but if you can snipe off any musketeers on the edges, left or right, then of course you want to do so. But you see, as soon as there's a real fight trying to... as soon as there's going to be a real fight, he's just going back. Meanwhile, his town center is still doing some damage here on his musketeers. I pressed the Alt key, by the way, for you that don't know it. For those of you who don't know it, you can press the Alt key to see hit point bars. And thus you can micro more effectively by first taking down the low HP units instead of the full HP units. So you will decrease the total output damage of your opponent. You finally see that he's coming into a fight. That means that in fact he should pop Minuteman in my opinion. Otherwise he's not really that smart to fight like this. If he would pop Minuteman earlier, he's doing it now, he would have definitely probably be able to kill a lot more musketeers than he did now. Anyway, he still pops them out, still gets quite a lot here. Always the defender's advantage, keep that in mind. That's why you also should not go too far in the back, because then you might get trapped and not be able to get out. At least now he was able to save some musketeers. He still has the battle mass, so he decides to fight over here while the Minutemen are not on low HP yet. This is not a problem for Grandad, however. There you have 8 crossbowmen on the way, while 700 coin is therefore gone Lordimperialist. Seeing that he might go for 2 options, either spam much more musketeers, or he's just gonna go for a third age. We have to see what he will go for. I think actually that after this batch he's probably gonna go for a third age. In my opinion he should, just because his map is not the best, and he's not likely to get pushed by Grandad anytime soon. So this musketeer mass that he has is enough to just pressure Grandad a little bit, do some damage, and then just age up in the back of it and get access to better units. You see that Grandad still funny, by the way, on his 1 Rex. Building a trading post here, maybe even going for a second trading post because he didn't really use his 700 wood so far. Very interesting that he's not adding a second rack so far. Oh, there we go, finally. So there's probably going to be one trading post then and 2 racks. There is no 8 job yet from Lordimperialist, just more musketeers coming in. Then he's probably going to ship, there we go, the 8 crossbowmen as well. 1 villager going down over there. He really should try to herd this herd, not per se towards town center, but more towards the back here. Then he has 2 places to gather, either here or there, depending on where Lordimperialist is pushing. This is not a fight he should take. He should definitely just go back here. He doesn't have to fight yet. He would be better off just messing a little bit more instead of fighting right now. Anyway, all the villagers are going to be popped into the town center. Of course, you don't want to have more than 10 in there, because 10 villages in your town center is the maximum damage of 90. The other villages should just gather on the map, so you can produce more units, or they should be fighting and absorbing a lot of HP, because of course 0.4 range resistance, they do very well if you fight a lot of infantry. Score still very close, but you see that Lordimperialist got a little bit ahead now. He's not giving his villages yet. I definitely would have just like 4 up in front, but it definitely do a lot better in my opinion. Also, you should bring your hero back. It's 500 HP meat shield. Always get it with your army. Okay, he's finally going to bring his villages, and you should bring them in front. That's what we really know. And there you see that as soon as Lordimperialist sees that, he's going to go back, because of course you can still micro on the musketeers on the crossbowmen, because you don't want to take villagers out. You first want to take the army units out, because they will do more damage, you see over here. But it is going to be very hard, because you have to manually micro all the individual units or small groups on his army units, because every time you don't do that, they will automatically attack the villagers that are up front. We see that in the meantime Lordimperialist is gathering all the way over here, and the funny thing, Grandet has 1 villager here as well, so they're kind of gathering there together. It will be interesting to see who will send out the first raid, and that is going to be Lordimperialist with 3 hussar shipment. And even adding a stable as well. The bigger musketeer or army count goes to Lordimperialist by a little bit. Grandet should definitely just be trying to pick up units on the side, but okay, there he is, he aged up. And that means that he has access to much better units, so all he needs to do is now make sure that his army stays alive as long as possible, so his skirmishers will do a good job later on. Because if you would lose all this army and then make skirmishers, he has no stable yet, so he can't make dragoons, then he might lose to some hussars, because as you see here, Lordimperialist added a stable himself. Of course, scout being detected here, because his hero should be somewhere, there we go, with his army. Always important to do that, not because of the additional damage and the meat shield, as I explained before, but also because of the ability to detect invisible scouts. Lordimperialist, of course, can go for an 8 job, but he has to do that all by gathering the resource, because he already used his 700 coin shipment. There we have a few skirmishes popping out for Grandet. You see that he leaves some, this is kind of the SC2 style. By the way, funny thing, these guys both, I believe, play StarCraft 2 on a very high level. You see similar things, of course both are strategy games, StarCraft 2 and Age of Empires 3. And you see similar things based on how they play. For example, leaving 1 musketeer here, 1 musketeer there. It's the typical SC2 thing, that you just make sure that you know always where your opponent is moving his army. It's just 1 musketeer, it's not that many resources, but the fact that you have knowledge of what your opponent is doing, where his army is moving, or for example where he is now starting to gather resources, is often much more important than losing 75 food and 25 gold, so 100 resources in total. Not to mention that sometimes you can just save a unit as well. Now that he sees that Grandet is pushing, I believe he also saw the cannons. That means he better knows how he should go on with this. For example, try to sneak in from the back and kill the cannons is an option. We see that he has a lot of hussars, and Grandet should not be pushing out on the map this soon, in my opinion. Anyway, he does so. Some musketeers should definitely be put in melee mode. He is trying to focus the cannons on the infantry, as you see on this side. I believe not very well target fire here by Lordimperialist. He should be targeting the cannons with his infantry. He does it now finally, but he lost more than he should have, I believe, with cannon shots. And it might even get off a third shot, doesn't it? Yeah, it will definitely get one more. Maybe even a one more. Even a lost one. I don't know why he didn't target him before. Anyway, he still comes out a bit ahead in this fight, I would say. On the other hand, oh wait, sorry, I missed it. The skirmishers, not musketeers. So the skirmishers here in the back will definitely be able to kill off all this Lordimperialist. And now it means that he is in the second age and Grandet is in the third age. Of course, he lost his cannons, but he still has access to the best composition, which is the dragoons and skirmishers. So that will mean that it is going to be a very hard fight for Lordimperialist here to come back from. I'm not sure how well MVP, or sorry, that is Grandet scouted the map of Lordimperialist, but he should definitely be trying to raid a little bit, I think, with some cuirassiers, for example, the 3 cuirassiers, because he still has no stable. There he has a stable finally. Not having a stable also means that he doesn't have any dragoons, because he can't make them. Of course he can ship them, but he chose to ship skirmishers, I believe. He might have shipped them, I can't be sure. So, wait a second. That is 8 plus 8, and then he made some from the rack. So yeah, he definitely shipped 8 skirmishers there. And now he's probably gonna add the dragoons. But Lordimperialist still has the whole map so far. On the other hand, of course, Grandet still has these resources here available, so far that's going okay. Keep in mind that all this time he still has a trading post. And that's of course more of these good third age shipments for him. A little bit of a wall now here, just to make sure that he can gather his food more safely, and his gold over here. Not sure why not just make a wall till this part somewhere like there. Anyway, some dragoons made here. Gonna chase out this raid on this side, and there we have a raid coming in. Always try to keep gathering with the villagers as long as possible, so if he's attacking you on this side, like you did now, perfect job, just move your villagers towards your army and let the other villagers gather. If you just move all your villagers away, then you will waste more gathering time, in fact. Nice micro here going for the hussars. Now more things are going on. Seems that we have 2 battles here, 2 small battles. And eventually he ran away, saved the 2 hussars. The thing is that Lordimperialist now needs to buy time, so that's why he's trying to raid here and there, left and right. Because if he doesn't, and Grandet is easily able to get this skirmish dragoon composition in a big mass, then it will be very hard for Lordimperialist. Because eventually, if you get a big enough mass of this, you can just kite back a musketeer hussar army forever. You have more range with the skirmisher, and every time that hussars are going to come close, especially with so many dragoons, you will just be able to quite easily kill off the hussars with decent micro. And that means that you can just push back this army all the way. He needs a really big mass to be able to really surround you. Then he can of course fight you, otherwise it's almost impossible for him. He sent both cavalry cars as we see here, HP and attack. But this means that Grandet should just go back and kind of sit in his base in a more defensive position. As long as Lordimperialist is not aging, everything is going fine for him, and he has no need for Grandet. There's no need for Grandet to push out on the map, risking getting trapped. He's gonna use some villagers now, as you see. Let's see how this micro is going on. Skirmish is going to be targeted on the musketeers. Of course, using some attack move over here, but as long as this is kind of horizontal line, that's fine. Otherwise, you want to move it more manually in the groups. And there we see that he lost a lot of his army already there. So far, right now, Grandet 7 points ahead. Still quite even here. I expect that Lordimperialist also did another market upgrade, probably a second gold. I'm not sure Grandet did it yet, but of course he invested in a trading post earlier on. But that gave him access to much more of these skirmishes by using his shipments in the third age. Lordimperialist is now even gathering on this side of the map. All the way on Grandet's side. So after this mine is out, that means that Grandet has to go for this one. Or perhaps this one, but let's see how that will play out. He has to be careful here, going in so far and having an army in your back and then more units coming from the front can be dangerous. On the other hand, he has a lot of dragoons right now, so I don't expect Grandet to lose this game. If he plays this out correctly, he should definitely take it right now, in my opinion. Points are still quite similar, but that's of course because of army value and resource investment. But keep in mind that resource investment is only one thing. Having the better army intact. Oh, careful there, the things are going to mess up. having the better army in tech, so the units that you have, so with what you can push is of course worth more than just points and resources. Lordimperialist has to run, he can't just commit here. If he tries to attack these goons too much, then these skirmishers will just kill him really fast. You see that he's trying to snipe with some of the goons, but every time he tries to snipe over the goon, 3-4 skirmishers are falling in the back. He did manage to age up, Lordimperialist, so he's now his 3rd age as well. I would definitely like to see him grabbing a trading post to get access to some shipments, because he's behind by a lot. Now there's a 30 score difference, as you see. And I think the bad decision would have been, when I pointed out earlier, to just age up himself while still raiding a little bit with the musketeers that he had. Because he invested so much more in his 2nd age army, he aged so late, and he's just fighting an uphill battle with musketeer, hussar, dragoon, skirmisher, especially in this mess. It's just like almost impossible. You can't do it, even if you gather all around the map, as you see. Of course, he was able to not to gather on the resources here, on the animals rather than, for example, mills. But of course, keep in mind you have to walk all the way on the map as well, and that also means less income because you have more walking time. This is a perfect time for Grandet to push out. I feel he has the much better army. He just killed off like everything of Lordimperialist, so he should know that Lordimperialist doesn't have much left. And if he now waits longer, Lordimperialist will only be able to make more units and protect them better, and that's of course not good. You can expect Lordimperialist to ship cannons or skirmishers. Cannon is very likely, if he's able to get some infantry with it. So that means that Grandet should probably try to put his skirmishers in the stagger mode, so that he won't get that damaged by cannon shots. I would definitely like to see him adding some crochet in as well, and not just skirmisher. Oh, there we go. 3 crochet, probably going for raid over there. He now spotted that he's on that mine. And if he builds his trading post, he's also gonna spot these villages over here, I think. Anyway, stable going down. It was the 2nd stable, I believe. Yes, there. It's funny, by the way, we have here a 3 crochet raid, but he's very nice here building a tower with the 4 villagers. And we have here 5 hussar raids from Lordimperialist. Always keep in mind, by the way, guys, if you build your tower, do it with 4 villagers. That's the max you can build it with, but it means that you'll build it very fast. If you build it with 2 villagers, of course, it goes slower, and then you might have it up too slow, too late, and that means that you can't hide in it. Anyway, now you can hide in it if he's going to do it. Let's see. Yes, probably busy somewhere else. And of course, with the tower especially, 3 crochets are definitely going to kill these hussars. Villager's going to run. He still managed to save a lot of these villagers, so that's good for him. And he still has his 2 cannons available. So he is actually now going for the more aggressive composition, and that is skirmishers and crochets. The thing is, if you switch it up like this, also typical SC2 thing, like completely changing from the standard, you see that the other guy has a lot of dragoons and skirmishers. If you manage to build a lot of crochets, you can just go forward, charge in. The skirmishers kind of have to run because of the crochets, and the dragoons will then of course try to shoot you, but your skirmishers will also go along with your crochets to shoot the dragoons. So if he kind of catches Grandet off guard, but now he's losing a lot of villages over here, then he might be able to really take a battle in his advantage, especially with the cannons behind it. But he lost a lot of villages there, and he's now going to lose this position as well as the villages that were in there. Always, by the way, if you lose something like this, try to do damage in another position. If you see that the whole army of your opponent is on point A of the map, try to go for point B, for example here, and take out this tower, or go here, take out this trading post. Make use of your army, never have it idle, always be around the map, be active. So it's taken out. That means that he has access to his gold mine himself, and we see that now Lordimperialist was quite far ahead on villages. Of course, Grandet aged earlier, so he kind of sacrificed some economy there to get a faster H3. But he's now almost same village count. Interesting to see how this will play out. I believe that if just Grandet adds some more crochet, he definitely is able to take this. But he should just make 5 or 10 crochets and then charge in, I feel. Anyway, by use of this tower, he now saw that the crochets, that the Lordimperialist had 10 crochets. Seeing this army composition, skirmisher cannons and crochets, of course there might be some dragoon in the back, but this likely means that there are not that many goons, if at all, so if you would add some crochet yourself, it would definitely be very, very wise there. And of course use your hero with your battle, during battle. More crochets here of Lordimperialist, so he's definitely going for the aggressive composition still. Skirmisher crochet. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. In the meantime, he has finally taken a trading post. Grandet also took a second one. And he in fact upgraded it, so that means that Lordimperialist also benefits from that. Because he has these two cannons still, it is going to be very hard for Grandet to push in if he doesn't have any crochets. On the other hand, if he puts his skirmishers in stagger mode, that is the spread out mode, and charges in with all the dragoons, is probably, I think if all dragoons target it, they will just one-shot a cannon. Of course you lose some dragoons in the meantime, but should be okay. He is forced to go on mills, as you see over here. Probably Lordimperialist will do the same anytime soon, because there's no more food on the map. Oh, except over here. I can't see what the trading post has set to. I think that by now Grandet has set it to resources rather than shipments, because he doesn't need that much XP anymore, I think. It's probably more important to have more good and full gold and food. Oh, we see there's still food over here, by the way. Anyway, taking out the mill is always very nice. Not only do you deny gathering food, but you also kill like a 400 wood building. There you see one cannon is barely gonna take out, and there you find the crochets coming in. He can just charge in now. He's even gonna use his villagers, also SCP style, very nice to see, but of course very typical for French as well. He has definitely the upper hand if he is able to target the crochets down of Lordimperialist. And if he makes more crochets himself, then he will definitely take this battle. You see here now there's still 40 scored vintage. And with so many dragoons, the crochets are just dying off pretty fast. The dragoons and the skirmishes is all that's left from this battle. Of course the villagers taking up a lot of fire as well. And now he can just charge forward with his skirmishes because he still has better skirmishers as well, so he doesn't need to waste his dragoons over there. Of course, if you want to fight with both, I would also always prefer to have your skirmishers more up front than your dragoons, so then any auto attack, auto move from your opponent won't damage your dragoons if they're up front, because of course dragoons have less range. So then you would preferably auto attack, or if you have a high APM, of course you can manually adjust it. But auto move towards your opponent, shoot, click again, shoot, run again, and go very close to it. Anyway, he's trying to get up another tower, Lordimperialist that is, but that's of course not gonna work because Grandet spoiled it. So he's gonna lose more villages over there, as well as a tower. You see that, by the way, Grandet put his dragoons in melee mode, as you see here. They are gonna attack from melee. Versus villagers, that is sometimes better, because not only will you slow them down, but also they do bad damage versus crochets, because crochets have so much range resistance, and thus hand attack is often better. But so far the game is still going on. Lordimperialist is not giving up. He's now going to take a Shan trading post as well. That means he can also get the Bison Herd at his town center. It's the upgrade that Grandet did earlier. And he's now going to get a little bit of wood behind Grandet. I mean, why not? Hero still there, should be used in battle. Like I said before, 620 HP. He is definitely sleeping here. 620 HP with 0.10 range resistance. Definitely gonna soak up a lot of skirmisher shots. He is gonna take out the training post, it seems. He needs this wall because it was kind of in the way for him. And we have pikemen mixed in. Of course, being out of gold for both players, it is not likely that... Oh, there we have a lot of crochets from Grandet. Very nice surprise that he kept them in the back, and that means a good game over there. Because Lordimperialist is not gonna come back from this. The pikemen do a decent job, but oh, we even have Sharon riding mixed in. Of course, it's cavalry, and it costs only food and wood instead of gold, so it can be useful from time to time. But he's now going to lose all the skirmishers. You see that they're going to be slowed down by the crochet attacking them, and in the back these skirmishers keep getting off shots. And, that means that's it. or not. He is now 100 score behind Grandet. There are a few lag moments in this game, so I'm not sure what exactly is happening over there. Anyway, this game is over. That now adding more cliches, of course, if you're so far ahead and you can afford it to make the best unit in the game, kind of, then of course you will go for it, and of course you can raid nicely as well. 3 crochet shipment here of Lordimperialist, going for a raid, but now Grandet finds this base over here. There's not much Lordimperialist can do. This is kind of waiting it out, to be honest, because this is just this game is over. Maybe he's upset with himself a little bit, not sure. I don't know why he doesn't design, but he can't do anything. He has no access to gold. He can't bring up cannons or something. And with all actually Grandet just has a perfect armor composition. A lot of skirmishers, enough Dragoons and enough Dragoons as well. He gets a nice raid off here, but in the end, what does it matter? As we see here, the village account still up a lot for. Are you kidding me? Is he gonna make a wall over here and wall in this village just to make time? He get a lot more resources, you saw there, by the way, because he probably did the second market upgrade earlier, as I explained, while Grandet had trading posts, so of course more shipments, but a little bit less economy. Also he went for a faster third, therefore losing some villagers, also quitting villager production for a little bit. Second game, sorry for the delay. Second game gonna be played on Saguenay. A map with, of course, water, as you see over here, so that allows for a possible water boom. Regardless, it is a mirror, so both have equal chances for doing so. And here we have Grandet over in the blue. Gold mine there, that's okay. One herd still here, herdable. Other one a little bit further, that's normal. He has one, that's similar, same one. One herd here, herdable, and the second one a little bit further. So this all looks pretty fair. Both have gold mine close in the back, and the third one here and the third one there. So map is good. That means we can definitely start off with another good game. Dutch mirror. We haven't seen a lot of these in this tournament. I believe it might even be the first one. As a reminder, we are still in the round of 64. Currently, Grandet is up 1 game versus Lordimperialist. Previous game was a French mirror. And in a Dutch mirror, of course, several things are possible. What we likely will see is some kind of stable opening into some raids with hussars into probably a third age, a semi-fast fortress. And then, of course, from there, skirmisher dragoons and stuff like that. Another deviation might be some kind of rush, like maybe some of you still remember the game, I believe, Parfait versus Iron Grunt, I'm not sure. It was a skirmish pikeman push, rush in fact, but of course since then things have changed up a little bit with patches here and there. And the other option, of course, is to go for a water boom. Both the civilizations can do so. But since Dutch can boom pretty well on land with their banks, it's often something they will go for later and not early on. Like when the resources are run out on the map. You see that Grandet here is now soon going to pick up 95 wood, very nice as Dutch. Of course you need to build a bank during your age up, so that means that you already have 100 or 95 wood ready. Lordimperialist found 160 XP on the other hand, so also very nice treasure. So I still pretty much equal, I would say, because that means that he gets his 700 wood shipment faster, or his bank wagon, whatever he chooses to send. So far we see that Grandet has 6 sheeps and 2 for 6 for Lordimperialist as well. Of course, Saguenay you always start with a building, you get it for free. It is a random thing. You can start with a livestock pen, a market or a plantation, depends on how the game spawns. Both here start with the livestock pen, so of course you will task your sheep on it. So they will fatten over time, but they'll fatten faster on the livestock pen. And thus you will be able to get a lot of food from it later on. Lordimperialist is going to pick up 90 food there shortly. And Granddad going to pick up 60 food here. You see that both players are now aging up. Of course, if you play a mirror matchup, you have always it's always easier to decide what the other guy is going for because you better know timings. Because in fact, for example, if you know that you are going to age in 2 seconds, it's very likely the other guy is going to age in 2 seconds as well. Assuming that he has kind of the same build as you have, but which you can scout with your hero. Suppose that you have 5 hussars out in 5 seconds, you also know that your opponent is probably going to have 5 hussars out in a few seconds as well. So that makes it kind of easier to estimate timings and what your opponent has at what time and where on the map. We see Granddad here now going for a scout. The Lordimperialist definitely shoot so as well soon. This might be a little bit early because still this is the pretty standard start. Both will just go for a bank. We see that Granddad banks is going to be popped up a little bit earlier here. Of course he had the 95 root treasure. While the advantage, or not advantage per se, like the treasure for Lordimperialist, the XP one kicks in a little bit later on. Bandwagon there. We see 2 villagers going forward. I'm not sure what they're gonna do, let's see. He might go for a skirmisher pike rush. I believe he always liked this style. He has very good micro, of course, also as you have seen in the previous game. Of course also benefits from his StarCraft 2 games, the micro. He also made sure that his path over here was clear by scouting it with his hero. Of course, if you don't know if it's clear, by, for example, Lordimperialist scouting over here, then you might get scouted right away, and then Lordimperialist will definitely know better what to do and how to adapt to it. We see a forward barracks. This is really kind of the Parfair or I'm Gone style, I don't remember, but it was definitely a very nice game. That means he is likely to ship a pikeman, maybe as a first shipment for a hard rush, or then else as a second shipment after he got the bandwagon up. Because of course you can't just go for only skirmishers if your other guy is going for a Rex or stable. He hasn't scouted it yet, he will scout it now, after he's going to kill the hero of Lordimperialist. Interesting that Lordimperialist is going to start for barracks as well. I think he didn't scout it, but I'm not sure. Anyway, bandwagon up first, that's all pretty standard. Of course, if you are in mirror, you can also go for 700 wood first, make more banks and make your Rex or stable later. It is more risky though, so the bandwagon first is kind of the safer build. Anyway, 5 skirmishes popping out. He by now has definitely scouted the Rex. That means that there are no hussars or a shipment, but it's very unlikely that he ships 3 hussars so early. Take a look at the deck. No 700 coin, no 700 food. That is interesting to me. He has at least 700 coin in it. No sea cards though. Let's see what he is able to do here. He might be able to pick up the villager. On the other hand, he needs to shoot it twice with 5 skirmishes, and if he shoots it the first time, he's probably gonna save it there in his town center. We see now the second shipment, 700 wood, is gonna pop up for Lordimperialist a little bit earlier, because of course of this XP treasure. And now that Granddad has 5 more skirmishes, 10 total, he's gonna push in, because then he is easier able to pick off 1 villager if he finds one in that range. And watch this. There we go. There it goes down. If you would have come in with 5 skirmishers, you would have only damaged it and not killed it, and now you killed it. Town center fire, of course, advantage for the Imperialist. Hero and Tomahawk were a small advantage for Granddad. We have 3 hussars. That is, of course, a very small decision, because pikemen would only be useful if your opponent is starting with a stable. If he starts with the Rex, pikemen are not that useful. So he ships 3 hussars, and then he can micro the skirmishers on the pikemen here to pick them off, and then of course the hussars can work on the skirmishers. That means, by the way, no wood shipment for Granddad. Usually we see that the Dutch player is gonna make a bank with the wood, but that means he needs another bank. I mean, he needs the food for it and can't make units. And now Granddad definitely has a problem, because Lordimperialist, keep in mind again the earlier XP, also shipped 3 hussars, and they will arrive faster, of course, because the fight was happening over there. I'm not sure what happened to the 3 hussars. Oh wait, there they are. They're going in for a raid. They killed one villager, but that means he's gonna lose his whole army over there. Just because he went for a raid kind of at the wrong time, because Lordimperialist chose to send 3 hussars. After that, I'm not sure what the shipment was of him. By the way, very nice scout here. He sees every shipment that's coming in. Very good positioning. And now he can make the bank because he had the excess wood, but he first wanted to make some more units. Pikemen were it also with this 700 wood to make sure he could push out. And now that he knows he's safe, he can make another bank here. So yeah, a little bit of a misstep here by Grandet. On the other hand, very well played by Lordimperialist to send the 3 hussar shipment right after it. And there we have 700 wood shipment for Grandet. And now a little bit of a raid incoming from the Lordimperialist. And the bank, of course, for Grandet, because in the meantime he got the food to catch up with the economy. He's losing one villager there, but he will now not lose a second. He should not at least. If he would go to he don't lose it. If he would go if he would go right away to a town center, he would not lose it. Anyway, he managed to pick off 1 hussar there, so that's still okay-ish. And he should definitely send. I probably had them in one group. I was about to say he should send it over here. Very good decision here by Grandet. This guy always has nice decision making. He lost his Rex. He knows that he can't just stay second age and try to fight from there, because you are behind. You have to remake your Rex and you have to get something done, which is going to be very, very hard. So the best choice, very good here, is to age up instead. Then choose for a stable or Rex. I think stable is the smallest choice. And then use your better shipments and units to fight from there. We see now he has managed to get a stable up and 4 banks, and he aged up. It's actually quite interesting. I thought he would be able to age up with the stable and then 3 banks instead of the 4th. Lordimperialist also has 4 banks, but of course he has invested something in units, and they're not that useful. Now he's trying to pick up something. Of course he can definitely siege a house here and do some damage with the skirmishes. And he is, I assume, also trying to age up himself. As long as these skirmishes keep poking in, it's probably hard for Grandet to push out. You see that he makes Reuter. I think he should either ship hussars or skirmishes, not the Reuters. He might ship the hussars and then together with the Reuters that he had try to deal with the pikemen and perhaps even minutemen. Very careful, he's going to lose another villager. I'm not sure if he scouted this one mining the top here, but otherwise he should just send some villagers over there. Very nice, by the way. We see that Lordimperialist moved the scout over there just to see if there are any villagers on that gathering over there. Get the wood. Of course you can't get the gold from the mine because he posted there. You have not much food available, just gather wood. And I'm not sure if it was a choice as in a preferred choice, but he got the wood, so anyway just add your Rex. He shipped the skirmishers, and he is going to raid with the Reuters. Scout being picked off here. Let's see what he gets done. I think he won't get much done because we've been noticed here right on time putting the villagers inside. He might get one now, definitely not going to get one. He's going to save it in time. He will damage them, some HP of course, always nice. And now he's trying to go in for another raid here. Their Lordimperialist ages, also the 2, 4, 5, he made them. Yeah, so also fast age up, same as Grandet did, pretty standard here as well. So far a pretty even game. I would say Lordimperialist is a little bit ahead. Very careful, he has to be very careful with the right. They're kind of trapped, this is very unfortunate. He might run all the way to the... Oh no, don't go over there. You see that he loses 3 Reuters, 4 Reuter, and a lot of HP on them. He should have gone towards the coast and then run from this path on. So we see now a 10-point score advantage by Lordimperialist. While he still maintained his army lead because he didn't waste much of his army units early on that he had in the second age. And we see now that Lordimperialist is also 4 villages ahead because he managed to put him under pressure, so he didn't make villagers as you see over here, but also he killed quite some villagers. Interesting game so far, definitely nice to see the matchup go like this rather than both going for a stable and a standard press fortress. So right now we see that the skirmisher lead is going to Lordimperialist. This is going to be very important, by the way. You want to have some Reuter because your other guy can send cavalry, but you don't want to make too many Reuters because basically, especially, or the same as actually in French, the Third Age War is often skirmisher versus skirmisher, so the guy who has the most skirmishers is going to win it. And it's very unfortunate that he showed his army over there, because that was the ideal moment for Lordimperialist to know, hey, you don't have that many units, that means I can push you. So if you have less units, be very careful by showing your army, because if you will now push in like he does now, it's going to be one villager, second one definitely, maybe a third if you mark as well. The second one going down, the third one will go down a little bit. Very unfortunate. You see if he's adding hussars, that's nice. You might be able to catch him here. On the other hand, he is mixing in some halberdiers and has a very nice skirmisher force as well. Of course, you can go for Reuter because they can shoot on skirmishers if you manage to get them in a decent position. On the other hand, this as anti-cavalry is also nice because you can still use it to siege, for example, houses if you have the better army. If, same like last game, Grandet is somehow able to overwhelm him with hussars and surprise him, then he might pull this off, but he has no hussars in his deck, which means he has to make all the hussars and it's going to be very, very hard. Skirmisher lead still going to Lordimperialist here, as he's now even adding more skirmishers, 2 Rexes even, 2 stables for Grandet, so this might be interesting. If he is able to get some more skirmishers, the skirmishers will in a big fight together with the Reuter definitely be able to take out the pikemen and halberdiers, and that means that if he's gonna mass a lot of hussars like he's doing now, he might even send a card that he has in his deck for HP here, but I'm not sure, maybe some units first. Anyway, if he's able to push in on the right time, he is definitely able to pull it off and just surprise his army and catch it off guard. However, the other next shipment of Lordimperialist after the skirmishers is very likely going to be 10 Reuter, and even just 9 Reuter mixed in here are going to make it so much harder for the cavalry to get through, especially if you fight in an area like this where there are trees to cover you. And let's see how this goes. He's not adding that many skirmishers, he's trying to pick off what he can, as you see here, using his range. I'm not sure what his villagers are doing. His villagers are all gathering wood and food. He didn't even scout his mine on top. That's very unfortunate. On a map like Saguenay, always scout your top part to see if there's a hidden mine or food that you can gather from. Because right now he's only using his banks, I guess, to gather from. We see it also, Lordimperialist use the skirmisher card in the Third Age to increase both HP and attack. Good move, since he has of course like 40 skirmishers over here, 35, something like that. I'm not sure why Grandet is not trying to just send a few villages over there. He's gonna lose 1 or 2 more villages there. But this seems to be the move. He upgraded his hussars. I hope he sends HP for Minutemen. The skirmishers should be microed on the pikemen. Watch carefully here. Hussars on the skirmishers. Pull these one back. He should pull these one back here. They are all facing the pikemen front. But should pull them back. Let the skirmishers take out the pikemen. Come on, pull them back. Very unfortunate here. On the other hand, it seems he's still going to be able to overwhelm him, but Reuters are on the way, so he has a small window to do damage. And I think he lost too many hussars here in this battle. He should definitely go forward with the skirmishers, because he should know that there's more anti-cavalry coming. He is gonna still attack these skirmishers here with the hussars. Let me see how this goes. And now the skirmishers should be able to target the Reuter. Come on, go in. Get the Reuters. And there you see, eventually Lordimperialist came ahead in his battle, and he has still a good number of skirmishers left. Of course, the HP and attack card help a lot. I would have definitely preferred to have Minutemen pop out, and this was not the best micro over here, because too many hussars were fighting pikemen directly. The ones that were fighting here were very nice. He should have pulled these one back towards his skirmishers. That means the pikemen will just run around them. Skirmishers have more time to shoot the pikemen, and then he can, like one second or half a second later, he can pull them back again. But pulling them back for like 1 second will save so much HP of your hussars that they will live so much longer, and then he would definitely be able to do a much better job. As we see here also, a lot of low HP skirmishers, so it is... he could definitely have done better in that battle. More hussars here, careful to not be picked off here, but he is gonna save them on time. It is still something he can take now, because there are not that many Reuters, but we see more Reuter on the way. not from a stable, only from a shipment yet. But they are mistargeted. So what we see here, skirmishers should be targeting Reuter, Reuter should be targeting Reuter as well, and Hussar should be aimed on the skirmishers. A little bit of mispathing over here, very important. Still no movement popping out, that will also help by the way in these situations. But we see that if he is able to gather some more Hussars, come on, use these three, then he might be able to barely take this. Reuter should be go in melee mode, because they won't be doing that good in range mode for skirmishers. And he barely is not able to get this, If he had these three Hussars, it was gonna be very close, but now this is just very hard. We see that the 70 score advantage almost for the Lordimperialist. These three Hussars still not being used, and so far he has no stable yet, even adding an arsenal for the upgrades, but he is adding halberdiers as anti-cavalry. Of course, halberdiers have to be used in front of your skirmishers. That means that it's easier for other skirmishers to pick them off. That's why often people prefer to go for Reuters and skirmishers, because you can keep your Reuter in the back, so they will be able to attack cavalry, but they are not that easily picked off by other skirmishers, because they have to go in your 20 range as well. I'm not sure what Gondet is thinking here. He might go for a second Rex because he thinks he needs to pump out skirmishers fast. Very unfortunate, gonna lose two more villages here. I guess he still hasn't scouted this mine on top. He is shipping now. Oh, he's in the tower there. He is shipping his boats. That means he definitely has a good place to fight close to. And that means that he will also probably be able to guard this mine for a little bit longer. But meanwhile, map control goes to Lordimperialist, but also another tower on this side. And no, there's not a raid. That are his own Hussars. That is. Yeah, still the lead goes to Lordimperialist. We see still a 70 score advantage. This is going to be very rough. Meanwhile, no church yet. Of course, it has been a pretty constant fight for both. Not a tower here because of the ships. I would definitely like to have one ship like over here, just to make sure that your opponent is not building anything on the shore like he is maybe doing now. He might get it on time, but it's going to be very close. He is going to be attacked by this tower, so he should put this one back like to this side as he's doing now. Meanwhile, we have Lordimperialist pushing in from the other side, and what has Grandad left? He's going to lose another villager if he's not careful. He is going to lose his bank perhaps with the halberdiers. They are going to be used. He is able to save his ship. On the other hand, we have this tower damaging them a lot. Of course, towers are still pretty decent for his, what do they call it again? Floats. Frigates are really good, floats are just so. And of course you get 3 of them in the shipment. A lot being sieged here, that's the advantage of having halberdiers. And now, yeah, this is a very rough spot for Grandad. 80 score difference by now. I'm not sure if he's gonna do the same. I think he's not a player like Lordimperialist himself last game that he's just gonna stall it for too long. I think he might think he has a chance, but he's not going for water either. He finally found this mine. Too bad that it's so late. But very nice micro also with these kind of army compositions, skirmisher, Reuter, halberdiers, hussars. Very nice micro needed. Of course, the main thing is in it that the battle over here near the trees, that it was just not the best micro for Grandad. He should have definitely been able to make it a more even fight with his hussars than it was now. He probably wanted to go for a raid there because he had a scout over there, of course. Oh, that is the change. Of course, no more food left. And what are you facing? A lot of infantry units. So what option do you have left? Making cannons. He has to deal with this hussar. Just use your villager, go close and melee the hussar. Anyway, a lot of cannons over here. He is able to take down the town center, I think, because the cannons were a little bit too late. And I'm not sure why he's not using the skirmishers. They should just be charging in as well. Anyway, he's gonna lose the town center, and now he has a very immobile army because he has cannon with skirmishers. I think that 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no stable. There should be stable. Yes, there's one stable, so he won't be able to make that many hussars. Just 5 at a time. He should definitely have a second stable, I think, by now. Because when you're this far ahead of score, you also know that your opponent doesn't have the economy to support a lot of anti-cavalry at this point if he makes these cannons and stuff. So what we see here is there he's calling a good game. And interesting game, nice start from both. Well adapted by Lordimperialist. Too bad that Granddad didn't micro so well near the trees. But interesting game, yes. So that makes it 1-1, guys. 1-1 between these two, and that means we will go into a next game.
Yes.
Okay, third game is gonna be played on Siberia. That is the, of course, BO3, so it is the final game. It is currently 1-1 between these guys, and what we have here is German versus Dutch, if Granddad stays with German. I believe that from some time ago, German was definitely one of the better civilizations that he played. However, he hasn't played a lot, hasn't played that much lately. So French was also one of his main civs, of course, easy to get back into. He still did pretty nice last game, and let's see what this is gonna be. So, Granddad versus Lordimperialist, Siberia, game number 3. Whoever wins this is gonna go through to, hold on, to the round of 32 in this PK Clan tournament. Guys, remember a prize pool of $2,500 if I'm correct. So, Siberia it is. Maybe not everyone is that familiar with this map. It is a map where usually everything is pretty balanced. As you see over here, there's a gold mine for everyone close to the town center. Some gold mines spread around, as you see over here. Some gold mines spread around, as you see over here. A little bit better for Granddad, to be honest. Also, you see that food is pretty fair. We see that he has one herd to get, one herd to get there, and a other herd to get here. Food is a little bit better for the Imperialist. He can get this one, he can get this one, that one, and at least it's a balanced map for both. Both have enough starting resources to get this game going. Keep in mind the first hunt here, just for a little bit more of a description of this map, is not herdable. The other hunts on the map are all herdable to any point you like. As for, and of course, trading route here starts on the top left and goes to the right bottom. We might see a German go for a trading post later on. We see here now starting with the market. He has coin, that means he He grabbed in at least, he grabbed more than 50 coins, so he doesn't have to get this crate. Of course, if he doesn't get the crate now, it means that he doesn't waste time on gathering the crate, and thus he can age up faster, and he can get it while he is aging up into the second age. He did a market because he started with a good wood, I think 100 wood, I'm not sure. He chose to go for some, to gather some wood and do hunting dogs early on. We see that Lordimperialist has gathered 90 wood, very nice, as I explained in the previous game for Dutch, because you get an earlier bank, or well, yeah, you can make your bank earlier because you don't have to gather that wood. It's gonna get more wood over here, Granddad's gonna get food, and also starting with the market versus Dutch is pretty okay because Dutch can age fast, but usually Dutch is not really able to rush German. Especially on this map where both have a tower. That matters of course as well, but also German has of course 3 Uhlans with every shipment. They have 8 crossmen available, so it's really hard to rush into a German, I feel. So that means you usually have a little bit more time to go for economy like this, and there's not that much need to age up that fast. Because of course he delayed his age up by a little bit because he went for this market and the wood early on. We see that Lordimperialist is going to get another 40 wood, so by now he had like 80, 170 wood gathered, so that's like half a bank already. That's nice. 175 coin here, but you have to keep in mind it's a difficult treasure to take. Tigers, 225 HP, 15 attack, very strong. He's going to pick up one and going to come back later. But that has to be something he has to be careful about, because of course Lordimperialist can also get back to this and try to steal it from him. What else do we have left here for interesting treasures? We have here something to pick up later for the German guy, 300 coin, and something here later for the Dutch guy, which is infantry HP, of course very nice for a Dutch, all skirmishers, but this is even harder, and also something for later on. And a couple of easy treasures with the 45 coin there. So there we see Granddad is now aging. Of course villages are on wood. Same of course for Lordimperialist, but he's gathering the wood because he needs to make a bank. There we go. Bank quite fast up because of the wood treasures he had. We see that Granddad is now bringing this hunt already, this hunt as well. And on the other side of the map, Lordimperialist is bringing in this hunt also. There we go, their trading post for German. I like it a lot, I think that's very good for German. German kind of needs a lot of XP, needs a lot of shipments to make it a good civilization. And thus if you go for a trading post, it's very nice. We have to see what we see from a Dutch guy here, because he might go for something like Hussars and 8 pikemen to get down the trading post. If you go for Hussars alone, then the German guy will probably get you off there, because he can make a lot of Uhlans. So if you ship 8 pikemen, you will probably be able to kill this, or at least kill a lot of his Uhlans if he tries to fight for it. On the other hand, sending 8 pikemen of course hurts your economy a little bit as well. Going up for Rex, interesting. Maybe he's just gonna go for a couple of pikemen to defend versus raids and then go for a fast third. Of course, as Dutch versus German, you probably want to be third. There is, by the way, one option I haven't told you about yet. It is an option which, so in my opinion, can definitely beat the Dutch guy, and that is going for a trading post, a market with a good economy, and then spam Doppelsolder and Uhlans, because that is very hard for a Dutch guy to deal with in the second age. And if he tries to deal with it, you're likely to win. And if he is trying to age up, you are likely to, for example, destroy a few houses or a bank with the Doppelsolters. On the other hand, we do have a tower on this map, and we see also that the tower for Lordimperialist is a little bit better because it is in front of his town center, so he sees more from this part of the map. Also, it defends his town center pretty well. For example, here it is behind, so if units are sieging a town center from this side, the tower doesn't do any damage. And here, if units are sieging town center, the tower will do damage. Anyway, he starts with 5 skirmishers, and we see Granddad took even a second trading post. So I think he is going for a fast third himself with the trading post and benefiting from it, of course, having a lot of shipments available. There he used the 2 Uhlans and the hero to get this 175 coin treasure that we saw briefly 5 minutes ago. No, not 5, a few minutes ago. Time passes, time flies when you're having a good game here. And he probably wants to go for this 80 XP here as well, seeing that he's positioned over here. I'm not sure if Lordimperialist expects it, but he is also waiting here. He might try to steal it from Gauntlet. He doesn't notice yet. Of course, he has scouted this. So he has scouted this. So if he would click here on the minimap, then he would definitely see that Gauntlet was trying to take it. So another 80 XP plus 2 trading posts. Very nice for our German player here. Of course, all the 3 Ulan available. We see the raids coming in from left, the raids coming in from right. There he makes 5 pikemen. Pretty standard defense here. Some prefer to go for Hussar stat just to be able to hold off raids better because you're more mobile and perhaps raid some yourself as well. On the other hand, as a Dutch player, it's going to be very hard versus a German player to win a cavalry fight because a German guy makes 5-5 cavalry but gets 3 Ulans as well with every shipment. So he made a third bank probably with 700 wood. Missed that there. Few pikemen as well, so yeah, definitely 700 wood because he's not gathering anything else. So I think he's going for a third age pretty fast, pretty soon. We see that 3 as a settler wagons here from Granddad. Afterwards he shipped these, that is the age up wood. He's just gathering some wood. Not sure what he oh, there we have 700 wood now on the way. And he is going for this treasure. 300 coin, very nice for German especially. Also for Dutch, by the way, these two civilizations benefit from it a lot. Trying to even micro his Ulans as you see here. This one is a low HP one. It first attacked the samurais, that means that all the guardians are chasing this one. Just run around with it like he does here, good micro. You take as less damage as possible while you can still take this out. Now we have Lordimperialist going for the training post as expected. He didn't ship pikemen yet, he only made these 2 for 6, 8 or so. Gauntlet knows that he can't take this out now, too many pikemen, so he will just go for a raid. He is adding 2 Rexes, but I believe it could still be a Doppelsoldners mixed in. Or he's just setting up for a nice H3. I think with all the gold that he's gathering and not any more Ulan that he's making, he's probably gonna age up and just setting himself up for a very nice H3 setup to go for a lot of skirmishes there. You will of course want to overpower your Dutch guy in skirmishes. But that means he is unfortunately gonna lose this second trading post. Doesn't matter, if I lose trading post I just build it again. If that's what Gauntlet is thinking. He was already gathering of course some additional wood and he had the 700 wood shipment here anyway. You might think, why does he ship like 8 crossmen or something? Well, as I said, I think he's aging. As you see now, he aged. So then 8 crossmen would be kind of a waste because you have a better shipment available in the third age. Also Minutemen, by the time they would here, they would have half his HP left. Skirmishers would easily take them out and then it's just a waste of resources. So it was not easy for him to kind of get this. He's gonna get caught here though, because Lordimperialist is going back the same way that he came from. And he will thus be able to take out this training post. Probably. If he doesn't miss it yet. He is gonna finish making the trading post. Okay. There we have 4 skirmishers. So if he is somehow able to... Yes. Okay, what you see here is that Lordimperialist might have been able, as you think, to take out his trading post. On the other hand, he knows Gauntlet just aged up. That means also skirmishers, etc. on the way. Gauntlet, he might have been able to buy some time here by just poking in with the Ulans. And then, of course, these Ulans and these 7 skirmishers are definitely able to take out this army, or at least take it out enough to not lose this trading post. So that's why Lordimperialist just went back there. Again, very nice position here with this monkey on the gold mine, so he knows anytime that Gauntlet is going for that gold mine over there. And right now, I think it's very smart Gauntlet went for 2 Rexes here, because you need to win the skirmisher war effect versus Dutch, so that's why you need 2 Rexes to pump out a lot of skirmishers. He is going for the aggressive composition here as well, like Lordimperialist did in the first game. Skirmishers and Ulans rather than skirmishers and war wagons, at least for now. Of course, Ulans are very good. I mean, they have low HP, but you still have a lot of attack available on this unit, 44 as you see over here. But a lot of more halberdiers and pike, no, just a few more halberdiers were made, I think. And he's just poking forward with his skirmishers, trying to see if he can take off any damage. That is going to be very, very unfortunate. Gauntlet, what are you doing? Anyway, he's still going to take this fight, I guess. I think. I'm not sure. He's targeting the pikemen and halberdiers with the skirmishers as he shoot. He lost a lot of HP on his Uhlans and he lost 2 Uhlans there. But so far he managed to get out of this. I think definitely the best choice because he just has to wait for some more units, and there we go. If he combines these 2 armies, then he's definitely able to get this. So now it would be the perfect time to push in for him, in my opinion. More hussars, but not upgraded yet. I think this is also a nice composition versus German because of the Uhlans and the high attack. It's very nice to have melee units instead of Reuter, because Reuter kind of die versus Uhlans because they have so low HP and fewer resistance. Actually no resistance versus melee. So we have now a 3-unit army composition versus a 2-unit army composition, and that is very important. But there we have the reinforcements coming in. Always best to go for a 3-unit composition. You see here that he is trying to take out the hussars with both the war wagon and the Uhlans. Of course you want to have your skirmishers target on the pikemen as always, if possible. On the other hand, if they're out of range, don't just walk after them without doing any damage. Then it's just better to shoot the hussars, because they are the biggest damage dealers rather than skirmishers. So shoot the hussars first. And we saw that a few villagers, I think, were gathering this food over here. That means it was in line of the line of sight of the trading post, and thus he sees that he was gathering there and now found this tower. Good response there by Grandet. So far he's 20 points ahead, definitely ahead as well in army value. A church now and 4 banks, so he might go for a defensive position right now, kind of waiting out the German, and just go for 1 or 2 more banks. Maybe even Stradio, that are the mercenary cavalry from the Dutch guy. I don't know why he's not bringing in this hunt. I mean, berries are so slow, it is in line of sight of the market. He could easily just herd it towards here, and then he has a safe place to gather. Of course, German might wait, but if you herd it 1 or 2 times, it's probably like almost near your town center. Anyway, good that Grandet now has a 3-unit army composition. As I was saying earlier, in almost all cases, maybe except for his Ottoman with the OP Abbas gun, and then Abbas gun Janissary is often fine, but in almost all cases, a 3-unit army composition just beats a 2-unit armor composition if you can micro decently. That is targeting the right units on the right units. He still hasn't upgraded his hussars to veteran hussars. Very unfortunate. At some point here he has to decide to go in. He has still enough skirmishers left and definitely enough Uhlans. I think he can go in here, but he's not sure yet. We see that the score gap is closing a little bit. Only 10 points difference now. The thing is, of course, you have your Uhlans to kill the skirmishers and the hussars, and you have the skirmishers and your war wagons both to target the pikemen if needed. Of course, war wagons first on the hussars, but there are not that many pikemen and halberdiers left, so I would say that the Grandet can definitely push in. But keep in mind, he doesn't want to make the same mistake I did, thinking that he won while he didn't won yet. Of course, you want to go for sure when it's 1-1 here currently. Whoever wins this is going to the next round, so you want to play it safe. There we have the Stradio coming in. It was not for the banks yet, maybe later. But Stradio is very nice, nice cavalry, very nice versus skirmishers. 56 attack. But of course he still has the war wagon, so in effect he has more skirmishers and not the same. And there we see blocking the Stradio with Uhlans, also very nice. Skirmishers should be targeted on the halberdiers, he's doing that now. War wagon should be targeted on the cavalry. And again he's not pulling his cavalry back. When your cavalry is being flanked by so many halberdiers, you should just pull it back a little bit so that you won't take all these shots. And if you pull it back, your skirmishers in the back will be able to take down these pikemen first while they run after your cavalry. Still, he had a lot of Uhlans there wasted, but he had enough war wagons left, and it's still okay for him. On the other hand, the skirmish advantage goes to Lordimperialist. I think they have both kind of the same skirmish account, but Lordimperialist has a skirmisher card, of course, which does have, and Grandet has not. But now he has 3 more Uhlans coming in. That means he needs a hussar to block the Uhlans, and that means that the war wagons can target the hussars, as we see here, still not upgraded his hussars, and that means skirmishers can just charge him even more. Skirmishers should be targeting again the halberdiers here, but he definitely needs more cavalry, and he has to be very, very careful. He is outnumbered in the skirmishers here, also outclassed because the skirmishers of the Dutch are here, are better here as well. I'm not sure why he's getting over there. Don't want to lose that. You should be be careful with his war wagon effect. Of course, they do very nice damage for you too, so you can still use them a little bit. But now he has the skirmish advantage. Too few Ulans, so he should be very careful. I think he should just go back. He has to make kind of hussars constantly, as you see over here. A little bit of a raid there. I'm not sure how much he killed. He killed the 1 or 2 villagers over there, but now he's gonna get caught. But because he was under so much pressure and Lordimperialist had to make constantly hussars, he wasn't able yet to upgrade the hussars. The tower is gonna go up. As I told before, make it with all your villages, then you'll make it faster. It's worth a lot to have it fast up instead of slow and then, for example, your opponent pushing in and then you're not having it up at all. So far, he's gathering there. He has still mines over there. And he is now barely not, maybe, yeah, there. Now he goes with 3 villagers. Oh no, he doesn't. We have 8 more skirmishes popping up. Of course, the 2 wrecks really benefit him a lot because he's able to pump out a lot of skirmisher production. But we see here that he picked off all 3 villages very nicely. And now, like I said, we have an outpost here, 1700 HP, not being finished. Imagine if this would finish. It would do so much for us, not only providing line of sight to see what army he has and what is coming, but also doing 30 damage each shot that they are each shot that it takes. Also, Granddad should know by now that the Dutch guy is running out of mines a little bit, and that means that he should try to raid a little bit here, for example, now and here, because he knows he has to get us something. He managed to get up his tower, that is very nice, but we see that the skirmishers are doing a very good job here, and now he mixes in reiters. Now you want to micro both war wagon and skirmishers on the reiters, of course. But he definitely needs Ulan. Maybe he chose to go for a tower here not only for map control but also to be able to pop out, for example, 9 Ulans closely to the skirmishers. If he would be able to lure the skirmishers like all the way over here and then pop out the Ulans right in front, right in their face, right in the middle of the skirmishers, it would be a good surprise. But now we see that this game slowly is turning into Lordimperialist's favor. Basically, he is winning the skirmisher war, and that matters a lot in these kind of fights. I would definitely like to see some more raids of Granddad here. Especially being German, you always have spare Ulans. We still have 4 bank economy from the Dutch guy. And he's now going for this herd over here, and still not this one. He killed the tower, now he's going for a trading post. This is a very rough situation. If he's adding the arsenal, he can do more upgrades to even improve his skirmisher count, statistics. He has these war wagons, these are nice, but really the battle is mainly about who has the most skirmishers here, who has the better skirmishers. Or you need to charge in with a lot of Ulans. What he did here, in my opinion, too long with just too few Ulan. Every time 5 Ulan is not gonna work. Your skirmishers with a few halberdiers or a few warrior in the back are just able to pick them off with decent micro. Here again, he has less skirmishers, but he does have a lot of war wagon. He might be able to just charge in now. Now he has a decent number of Ulans. He has to micro this very carefully. We see that the warriors are running with the back nicely. Ulans are dying very fast, as you see. War wagons should just, I think, attack move here, targeting skirmishers, because the warriors are too far in the back, too far out of range. But the skirmishers are also targeting the warrior now. In fact, here he should just be targeting the skirmishers probably, because then it would only be warrior left. As soon as you get rid of the skirmisher count, which he is doing now nicely, he is ahead in skirmishers now again, and then you are able to win the skirmisher war. And that's how this micro kind of changes during the fight, because at first you wanted to take out the Reuter so that your Ulan do most damage, but when your Ulans are down, you kind of want to take out the skirmishers, because the Reuter don't do that much damage anyway at that point, and as soon as you decrease his skirmisher count, he's finally going for it, very nice. As soon as you decrease his skirmisher count, you might be able to take the skirmisher advantage and thus win with the skirmisher war. I'm not sure if this is in his line of sight or not, but it will definitely be now when he moves all his settler wagons over there. Also, there's monkey here going crazy at the villager. So it means Lordimperialist is going to lose a few villages there. Keep in mind, the longer this goes on, I think the better it is for the German player, because because of all this constant pressure, the Dutch guy is not able to make more banks, so he is having 4 bank economy with constant villagers. On the other hand, the German guy has the upgrades in the market, probably a little bit more, and he is able to have constant villager production as well, but of course he has his settler wagon. So just let's take a look. Villagers, he stopped villager production there for a little bit. You see it's very close game, very close game so far. He's taking a trading post again, of course benefits him a lot, and this is a very rough fight. He might be able to get a good flank with the Uhlans. Of course they do very good damage. Once they hit hard, and we have a lot of skirmishes here, kind of hidden between the war wagons. This is very easy. I will zoom in a little bit to see how it goes. We see how the skirmish is still trying to target the Reuters. There are so many Reuters though. And the war wagons, I think he just mismicroed them a little bit, or just attack moved a little bit too much. Because they were just running too much in my opinion, and not firing enough. Too much running, not enough firing. And now we see that again Lordimperialist take the advantage. Of course he probably, well, he still has only 1 skirmisher card, but keep in mind he has the same amount of skirmishers, but he has a skirmisher card which does so much for him, so much. There he charges again with another few Uhlans, and he's still trying to nicely target these Reuters. The Warbank is now in the back, 16 range, so they can still be relatively used from the back, so that if he auto attack moves, then they will target the front units here with the skirmishers. But now he should pull back again. Forward 2 mil is very interesting, guys. I hope he's not going to give up, but I think that Gondet should be going back right here. Don't use your villagers, just go back with your villagers somewhere. He should not be staying here because he's outnumbered in the skirmishers, and that means he's going to lose his skirmishers. Also, of course, not only outnumbered, again, still he has the skirmisher HP. I'm not sure if he checked it. Okay, he knows he had 5 Ulan on the way, I missed that, so if he's able to take out these Reuter, and he did so, sorry guys. He even had 5 more Ulans on the way, I totally missed it as well. Where did they come from? Now this is a very nice surprise, because there are no Reuters on the way for the Dutch guy. There are finally some Reuter, but only 4, so these skirmishers definitely should be able to take it out. Also we see some settlers going down here, guys, and we have here a very nice advantage now for Gondet. I think he's a little bit ahead, just barely though, just barely. But he also is able to deny this gold mine from the Dutch guy, he's able to deny this food. Also he managed to take out a lot of skirmishers and Reuters again. And I don't know why he made this forward mill. I don't know if it was kind of a joke that he thought he won. He still has food over here. Why the hell would you build a mill? You still have food over here. Just maybe a mistake, I don't know. Anyway, Gondet that he feels he did his damage. Now he built a tower here for some position to fall back on in case he wants to still press his gold mine. Of course, he always sees what's happening over here, and as long as he keeps making a lot of new skirmishers, he will be able to win the skirmisher battle. We see that Lordimperialist now opted to go for some more pikemen halberdiers again, because of all these Ulans from Gondet. Gondet now stopped making war wagon. I think actually this is a very interesting decision, a very good decision as well, because soon, well, no, not soon, what we saw there is the Dutch guy having Reuter, and that's interesting. There must have been an upgrade card because we only 2 Ulans. Or it was 2 settler wagons. Anyway, also preferably, by the way, guys, if you have cavalry available, that is dragoons or normal cavalry, try to focus your tower on the cavalry, in my opinion, because it will do bonus damage 30 times 1.5 versus any cavalry. So that means you get the most effective damage output. Villagers have to be very careful, otherwise you don't lose it here. What we have now is mixing in more anti-cavalry from Lordimperialist, while Gondet has so many Ulans over here. And that means that it's gonna be rough from him to charge in, because Lordimperialist saw that he had so many Ulans, and that's why he changed not only from the skirmisher to making some halberdiers, but also adding in many more Reuters. Still, however, Gondet is able to press this position. I'm not sure why, maybe I think he has enough anti-cavalry if he micros decently. I think that Gondet should just make more skirmishers now, in fact, not more war wagons, just more skirmishers. That would probably be a lot better. You see it, he probably still has the no, he doesn't have the 10 Jaeger card. 10 Jaegers are so strong skirmishers, which are definitely useful, I think, for the Dutch. Of course they cost 1k gold, but they're worth their how you say that, how's that it's saying, they're worth their money in gold. Yeah, exactly. So we have now Lordimperialist being able to again gather on this gold mine. I'm curious to see the training post is not upgraded yet, so that means only XP for Gondet, no resources yet. Trying to poke in with the skirmishers. See that he even needs like more than 15 skirmishers to kill one skirmish. That's kind of 0.6 resistance, kind of hard. Let's see how he micros this battle. I would like to see again this cavalry move to the back and this cavalry should move to the left. He's just charging in, man. How can you do that? You see how fast this cavalry is dying over here. If you only, for example, from these cavalry, just these 5, pull it back towards here, then the pikemen will run after. The skirmishers are able to kill the pikemen and you can just come around from the back from the other side. This is very, very fortunate. Now he's going to bring in the saddle wagons to soak up some damage, but this is very, very close. Maybe you want to go for that. Now we have hussars on the way, so the surprise this time is coming from Lordimperialist. Very, very close back and forth game. Finally he's making more skirmishes. Targeting the war wagons on the hussars, that's of course very nice. Targeting the skirmishes, I think should also be a target on the hussars just to deal with them right away when you can. And if he only makes more skirmishes, this Ulan might go, it's really, really unfortunate. The shooting might be like that. Again, 2 times he just wastes his Ulan, it's really so unfortunate. This is the last gold mine for the Dutch. Keep in mind that this is also the last gold mine for the German player, and as soon as both players run out of gold, the Dutch guy still has his banks and the German guy has to go for plantations. And of course these saddler wagons traveling all the way around the world. Very careful here because these might get picked off if he's not pulling them back. Come on, go, pull them back. What you see, not pulling them back yet, that means that barely pulling them back on time. And now, for the first time in this game, we see that actually Grandet is on the defensive and Lordimperialist is on the offensive. He was trying to go for the gold mine that was over here, but of course it's already been taken by the German player here. Yeah, this is another mine for the gold, for the Dutch guy still available. Not sure what he will do there. A raid not being successful over there. He still has food over here, so I think he will go for a plantation soon. He should not be out on the map. He should be just. He now has doppelsolder for the hussars, but not the best micro here either. He should just pull back towards his town center and sit a little bit more. Just use your Ulans to raid. This German player, I'm sorry to say it, but he just doesn't raid enough. I feel that he should raid a little bit more. Being a German guy with low HP Ulan, they kind of do less good in battle, and you need to make up for that by raiding more with them because they have such high attack. And now we have the Dutch guy pushing in over here. He of course has scouted this gold mine, so let's see what he will do about it. Not pushing in yet. I might be like not sure what to do. We see a mill going up even, not a plantation yet. That's interesting. I would say that he has still food over there, but I think that this game is actually now won by Lordimperialist. Just a few missteps here by Grandet. Both of them surprised each other in a few ways with the Ulans and stuff. Look at this rate that you can get off here. If you are only able to, you should. He's going around it. That's very nice. The rotas will come back though, definitely. Let's see what he's doing. He's gonna lose 2 villages. Let's see how fast these rota will respond. Now he's gonna lose them, and now. First the hussars are gonna respond. Then no, it's not gonna respond. He's gonna bring everything towards this final push. Well, not final, but important push. There he's even gonna deny food on the mill, and that's so unfortunate that he built the mill over there. All the settler wagons, they have of course a lot of HP, so they will not die right away. The villagers you can still raid on this side, so why not split the Ulans? Just send a few Ulans over here, send a few Ulans over here. Maybe he thinks he can still get this somehow. He definitely should pop out mid-man if he's gonna take a fight, and no, don't go in right here, just go away. And these villagers, they should definitely be very, very careful. He should know by now that Lordimperialist knows about this, so he also knows about this food. He's finally going to move his villagers away. Sorry for all the screening, by the way, guys. Sorry, Garia, for all the screening. Try to do it as best as possible. Anyway, bring your hero as well in the battle, because your hero is 500 or 620 HP. And this is also nice to take off some HP of the hussars, but you don't want to commit yet. We see that there are way too few skirmishes for Grandet. Now a 50 score advantage for Lordimperialist. Grandet has still food here, but no more gold, so what is he able to make? Actually not enough. And no more raids, not raiding this side as well. So village account pretty even, but of course that means that the Dutch guy is a little bit ahead because he has 4 banks. German guy only has a few settler wagons, like French with having all the coureurs de bois. So yeah, I think that Lordimperialist just kind of wants to make sure that he now will take this win and not gonna overcommit, not lose to anything foolish. Finally managed to upgrade his hussar HP, and
verwundet und kann mich nicht
There he's slowly
bewegen.
gonna go for the final push, taking out Granddad army, resource gathering, more halberdiers coming in, 4 unit composition even. What can Granddad do? Maybe he can go for Crossman and Pikeman, but of course that's not gonna win you for skirmishes. They can just kite you back forever. Losing houses, still no raid with all the Ulans. Very rough position. 70 score gap now. Dutch guy has a big advantage. Still on 4 banks, by the way. Finally made sure that he got this food, and here we have it commencing to the end, guys. Let's see what Granddad is able to pull off. I definitely hope for a little bit better micro with discovery now, and he's just gonna siege everything, siege the houses, siege the wrecks, while your skirmishers of course try to be in front. Using your 20 range always to your advantage. Try to see if you can poke in, try to take off any HP or units that you can. When there's a real fight coming up, like a real commitment from both players, then you can pull your other units up front and fight it. So, still a skirmisher bar, but look at how much anti-cavalry there is. Of course, cavalry also is kind of anti-cavalry because you can block the other cavalry. Finally, Minutemen being pulled, Saddle wagons in front. Still a lot of Ulan again here fighting versus these. Now he's finally doing what I wanted him to do all the game. Pulling them back a little bit. Look how you see that all the pikemen are running after the Ulans, while your war wagons, town center and skirmishers can fire on the pikemen. If he only did that the first 2 big battles, then he would definitely at least be still in this game and maybe even take this game with all the Ulans he had. But now, unfortunately guys, this is the end of I think a very nice series between both players. I think it is actually the best series I've seen so far in this tournament. They've both played well, except for the kind of sadness from Lordimperialist in the first game to drag it out like that. But very nice here, and he is going to take this game. He now has a 100 score advantage, and this was a very nice game. Nice watch. Good game, guys. Let's see how should we conclude this. To give you a brief summary of this game first. First of all, I think we have seen definitely one of the best series of this tournament, if not the best. Second, Granddad was doing very well early on. Not sure what this tower was here. Maybe it was for a shipment point. And then we have actually 2 main mistakes, in my opinion. I have to say first, by the way, it is very hard as a player, because they don't have full line of sight as I do, to exactly know what your opponent is making and doing. We have seen switches from more skirmishers to more Ulans to more war wagon. On the other side, more skirmishers to more halberdiers to more reiter to more hussars. If people keep changing these things up like they did now, a very high level play I think, then it's very hard for people to know what might be coming. So that means that you always have to make sure that you have enough units available to counter everything. So you can't just go for only skirmishers and Ulans, because then you will be killed by, for example, skirmisher, Ulan and anti-cavalry, because there's a 3 unit composition which will do better. So you always need some war wagons in this case. But I definitely think that at some point he made too many war wagons. He should have made more skirmishers just to be able to win this skirmisher battle. At some point he finally was able to kind of win the skirmisher battle. But then we saw that he, again, first over here, second time over here, he just threw these Ulans away. They are so low HP, you can't just leave them here. What you should do is like actually exact thing that he did in the end. Charge in, that's okay. Use attack move, all okay. Manually spread them a little bit better to get the good surface area. But then if you see a lot of pikemen here, pull them back, pikemen running after them, or he has to manually correct it. If he manually corrects it immediately, you can go back. If he doesn't, run back to this side, and come back from the other angle, while in the meantime your war wagon and skirmishers are still targeting these pikemen, and your Ulans won't take that much damage. They live longer, more HP left, and then can come in again to charge in again in this battle, and do much better. That's, I think, the main mistake. So then, first game, French Mirror won by Granddad, well played. Second game, Dutch Mirror won by Lordimperialist, and the third game, Dutch versus German won by Lordimperialist. Very well played in the end. So there we have it. Lordimperialist taking a 2-win victory over Grandad here. And I think that Nerpio, I'm not sure how that went. So, very long games, in fact. I will now stop casting. I will upload these replays to my YouTube channel and you can watch them later. Thanks for watching, guys.